Hello everyone, this is Caleb Simpson, and you're watching my 100% walkthrough for The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword for Nintendo Wii. So in the last video, we unlocked Thunderhead and gained access to the Isle of Songs for the first time. And as soon as you enter the Isle of Songs, you will get the first song that we need, which our next objective leads us to Faron. So that's where we need to head to next for the main quest. However, for the next couple videos, including this one, I'm going to be getting a whole bunch of side quest items. So there's a bunch of pieces of heart, a bunch of goddess chests, a bunch of gratitude crystals. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next couple videos. So if you want to continue on with main storyline stuff, you can just skip ahead a couple videos, and we're going to do that. So first optional thing is on the side of the Isle of Songs, there is a goddess chest containing 300 rupees, which is awesome. Now, the particular goddess goddess cube that is related to this one is the one that is inside the volcano, kind of at the beginning of Eldin. So it's right before we got the digging mitts. So that first volcano, like there was lava that was raised, we blew up a little plug or whatever, and it drained the lava, jump up in there. Then as soon as you dive in there, there's a bunch of pillars, and one of them has a goddess cube on it. So that's how you get to that one. And there's a way to get back up, by the way, in case you fall down and you need to try again. There's like a nearby geyser thing you can go up that takes you back outside so you can try again. So, that is the goddess chest that was related to this one. I guess one final comment about that, though, is do only open that chest if you have enough space in your wallet. So I currently have a capacity of 1,400 rupees, so I have more than enough space for that. Although if you have either more rupees than I do, or you haven't been collecting as many wallets as I have, as many wallet upgrades, then that you might be close to your limit. So just be aware of that. You don't want to waste potential rupees. Next, we're going to head over to Fun Island, and I guess another comment about this too is the same deal, is that if you do well at Fun Island, you'll actually make a whole lot of rupees. It's actually one of the fastest ways to make rupees in the game if you do it well. It's kind of weird. Once you know the trick of it, you can actually make some pretty decent money here. So I'm going to be doing this, and I think I'd even go to my limit doing this. But if you want to go spend money elsewhere first, then maybe that would be smart before you do this next side quest. Now, during your exploration of this vast and totally not barren sky, you probably noticed Fun Island, this very colorful island here that is floating, that is owned by Dodoh, the happy clown here. And he kept saying over and over again that he would be open for business very soon. Now, the time has finally come. However, there has been a problem. Apparently, at some point, his party wheel that was normally strapped to his back flew off and landed somewhere below the clouds, which of course it is impossible to get things below the clouds, right? But now that we have Scrapper, there's probably something we can do about that. So after he's done speaking, Fi will then give you the option to douse for the party wheel. So towards the end of the conversation, Fi tells you that she's quite certain that the party wheel probably landed in Lanayru, which is the closest surface area. So go ahead and fly on over and enter, and the location you want to enter is, I think, Desert Entrance is what it's called, or Desert South or something like that. So go ahead and enter that one. It's the one just after the Lanayru Mines, and if you don't have access to this one, you could probably use Desert North, which is just outside the Lanayru mining facility, and that would be fine as well. Now, as another comment too, just as long as we're here, I will comment on the fact that back in the Lanayru mining area, there was a chest that was on an upper ledge. I just keep bringing it up because I just want to make sure people don't forget. There is a chest there that I will be getting later on in this walkthrough. We just don't have access to it just yet, or we don't have the required items to do that. So anyways, go to Desert Entrance, and here there is actually some rocks off to the left that if you blow them up, it reveals a time shift stone. So I actually blew those up earlier, so smack the time shift stone, and what this will do is, the reason for this one is for two reasons. One is to give us access to the minecart and the door so you can get back into the mine if you need to, but otherwise it also gives us access to these vines nearby. There's often always a ancient flower off to the right here, so I like to grab it every time I'm walking by anyways. But continue on this way. Now that that area is in the past, we can climb up here and climb along this nearby lip, this ledge here, and this will allow you to go over. Now if you have enough stamina, you can go ahead and start swinging the Wiimote. You just need it until you get to the stamina fruit anyways. So once you have that, you have more than enough stamina to keep swinging the rest of the way. But this leads to an upper ledge that has the party wheel. Now before you leave though, I do recommend you actually hop down here and grab this chest that has some treasure. I think this is a rare treasure. I usually get golden skulls from this thing. Yeah, sure enough. Like, a lot of the chests are random, but there's some that are set. This might be a set one. I'm pretty sure every time I play this game, I get a golden skull here, just my vague recollections of it. But anyways, after that, you can also grab the nearby ants. There's always ants over here. I think the amount varies, though. It's somewhere between, like, 2 and 5 ants. But anyway, it's a good chunk of them, so as long as you're up here, I do recommend grabbing the ants. I did kind of mess this up, though. My controller started getting really uncalibrated, so I started panicking. Anyways, you want to go ahead and run up and grab the party wheel and just talk to it, and Fi will give you the option to take it to the sky. Quick note about that, too, by the way. You can only grab stuff with Fi on the surface if you have the correct dowsing thing selected. So if you are currently have the dowsing option for another object, then you can't take this to the sky. So at this point, our only objective is to go back to Fun Island real quick. So we just need to find a bird statue. You can either go back to Desert Entrance, and you can crawl back around this way, or climb around this way. Unfortunately, I fell down, so I can either go the long way around, or I can head to Stone Cache. Now, if you do get tracked by an Impylus, you can either use a shield bash. Luckily, I have the wooden shield, not the iron shield. You can side hop while holding Z. You can press A to side pop. But anyways, head towards Stone Cache, and here luckily I have this shortcut open by pulling the lever. But anyways, go find a bird statue and go to the sky! So return to Fun Island and bring the party wheel back to Dodoh, and he will be super overjoyed, and he will give you 5 gratitude crystals, which brings us that much closer to Batro's prizes. Oh yeah! This also gives us access to Dodoh's minigame at long last, so we can finally play his game, and the first time you play, you can actually do it for free. Now, before you start, though, I would highly recommend that you recalibrate your controller just in case it's off. You want to make sure that your sword is kind of in the middle of the screen, so just slash it a couple times to fix it if it's not, and then once you're sure it's good, then go ahead and play with him. Unfortunately, if your controller is uncalibrated, it makes this next part way hard, because the falling mechanics to glide your fall is totally based off your sword calibration, so make sure you fix that, speak with him, and he charges 20 rupees per play. However, the first time he allows us to do it for free. And what he's going to do is he's going to shoot us up in a cannon, which that sounds totally safe, and then we got to glide down and hopefully land on the correct colored tile. So I'll explain how this goes in a minute. So how this mini game works is you use the Wiimote to tilt back and forth, and this will allow you to glide with your fall so you can direct it. And our goal is to go through all of the rings, which increase our point multiplier, and then avoid all the Dodoh balls. I believe the Dodoh balls reset your multiplier. I've actually never hit one before. But I think this minigame is super easy for this first part. The trick is just trying to figure out how to land on the multicolored tile, which that is our goal. So this part's actually pretty easy. How it works is wherever the multi-tiled is, you want to just watch that on your screen, and then as you're going through the final tile, wherever the current location is, so in my case in this particular recording, I think it's like pretty much far north. It's like a little bit just to the right of far north, so I want to go just a little bit south of far right, if that makes sense. So it's 3/4 of a turn around is where the multicolored tile will be. You know what I mean? So you go through the final ring and just make note of wherever the tile is, and then go or you can look at it the other way too. So you go wherever the tile currently is, you go 1/4 of a turn backwards of the opposite direction of opposite the direction it's spinning. So in this case, it's spinning counterclockwise. So you go clockwise 1/4 of a turn, and that will be where the multicolored tile will be. So you just go straight there, you land, and you'll always land on the multicolored tile. Now, if you went through all of the rings, you get 10 times the multiplier of points, so you get 500 rupees, which is crazy. So we got 500 rupees for that. Also, the very first time you do it, you also get a piece of heart. Yay! Now, I honestly think that the piece of heart is definitely the more valuable prize here, but just as a comment, if you're needing money in Skyward Sword, this is by far the best place to get it. It's crazy. Once you know that trick of 3/4 turn, you can just sit here for 10 minutes and you can make easily 10,000 rupees in no time at all. Every time that you complete it, because it costs 20 rupees to play, so you get 480 rupees as a prize for this, which is crazy. So on your own, you might have say it takes you 20 times, whatever. You're just doing it over and over again, and you finally kind of get a feel for it, but that's the trick for it. Is now that you know there's 3/4 turn, you try it and 5 or 6 times, you kind of get the hang of it, and now you can do it successfully just about every time. I don't always get it. I get it 50% of the time now. I happen to get it the first try in this recording, but it's not bad. So even if you lose and land on the Rupor tile, it's not too bad. But anyways, so now that you know the trick to doing that, it's just dumb. You can make so much money there. So I guess as one final comment is, Fun Island is the best place to make rupees in the game, but the best place to get treasure in the game is probably some of the other mini-games. A lot of mini-games reward you with treasure for getting a high score. And the higher the score, the better the rarity is of the treasure that you receive. Next, we're going to go purchase a new shield from Rupin here in the bazaar. So you want to go ahead and place your wooden shield in the bank. So I'm just dumping this off with the item check. And you'll notice that her dialogue is changing. This is part of another side quest that we're going to be completing. What we need to do is we sleep in a bed and then come back the next day, and her dialogue will steadily change and as she's steadily warming up to us. So we need to keep talking with her progressively over and over again, and this will just naturally happen throughout the game. So I'm not putting a lot of emphasis on it, but just know that several videos from now we will complete her side quest as well. So Rupin has the Sacred Shield available for purchase, and this thing's awesome. It's invulnerable to fire, electricity, and also curses, but that'll make more sense later. The disadvantage of it is it doesn't have a very much durability, so if you get hit several times in a row, it will break. Luckily, though, it does heal itself, which is kind of interesting. The durability will steadily increase over time, so you never have to repair this with Gondoa at all. So as long as you don't get hit too many times consecutively in a short period of time, the shield will actually just take care of itself, which is actually pretty sweet. This shield gets my vote for my favorite in the entire game. It's just so awesome. I mean, legendary equipment excluded, but as this is a 100% walkthrough, I will be getting legendary items as well, so just stay tuned for that. Anyways, there is also a new potion available from Love, the potion shop owner, and she has stamina potions available, which give you infinite stamina for the duration, which it would have been really cool for the neighbor mining facility and stuff, but of course they give it to us after that dungeon is complete. I don't know. They do that for all the potions. All the potions would be super useful. They give them to you after the area that you really need it for. Now, if there's a particular treasure you are missing, you can always speak with Spirit, who is the fortune teller here in the bazaar, and he now actually has the option to give you a hint on where you can find that particular treasure, which is pretty neat. For this next side quest, there is an optional clue you can get in the bazaar by speaking with Dodoh there, the big guy that is over, eating near the, north section of the bazaar. And he says that he's heard a rumor that in the Knights Academy, at night, you can hear a woman sobbing. And it's none of the female students. Everybody's freaked out about it, and they don't know what's going on. So we're going to go inspect this rumor. So you want to enter the Knights Academy and sleep in any bed to make it night. As long as we're doing that, I do like to go to Link's room because you can inspect the closet to get 5 rupees. This blue rupee constantly reappears, which is awesome. This cabinet has treated us very well. And it just goes to prove that money does not grow on trees, it grows in closets. So throughout the game, if you spoke with the various residents inside the Knights Academy, maybe it's just even at night when they talk about it, but if you speak with the various people around the Knights Academy at night, when like everybody's still awake at night even, you go into everybody's room and there's like only a couple people that are sleeping, but pretty much everybody else is awake. But if you go speak with them, then they'll talk about how there's people in the bathrooms, both of them actually. So the upper bathroom is constantly in use and nobody knows who's in there. And the lower bathroom, there's somebody in there right now as well. So head to the lower bathroom, and as you get close, you'll hear some moaning sounds and someone will beg for help, which that's not ominous at all. So go ahead and try and open the door. Awkward! And you'll hear a request from the voice inside. So apparently this person in the bathroom wants paper. Now this is, if you've played some other Zelda games, you might be smiling at this point because you know what's going on here. But this is a reoccurring character, another one of those reoccurring characters in the Zelda series that we've seen several times before. So a quick story in real life, I'm kind of going to dive in between this, dip into this here and there during this whole side quest. So around this time that this game was being released, Prima Games was looking for different people to hire to write the official strategy guide for Nintendo for this game. So they approached Masi Sagopian and I at ZeldaDungeon.net to write the strategy guide for Skyward Sword. So we didn't end up doing it for various reasons that I won't go into, so we turned the job offer down. But it's always kind of an interesting thing to me. Whenever I play this game, I'm always like, oh yeah, I was almost that guy. Anyway, I'll come back to that story. I'm just going to keep interjecting it throughout this side quest. So continuing on with side questy things, you want to sleep in a bed till morning, and something you can do actually, if you enter Stritch's room here on the lower floor, then you can actually sell bugs to him at night, and he's willing to buy one different bug at night. And this is one of the only times in the game where it's more practical to see him, although we don't really have a lot of bugs right now. But if you ever get to a point where you have a ton of bugs and you need some rupees, that's another option. But as I showed earlier in this video, using Fun Island at this point is a way superior way of getting money at this point in the game. So after speaking with the character in the bathroom at night, you want to sleep in a bed till morning, and then you can speak with Cawlin here at the entrance to the lower entrance of the Knights Academy. So he has a chat bubble above his head, and he now has a letter, a love letter in fact, that he's trying to deliver to his crush. So once Cawlin gives you the letter, the quest actually splits, and we have two different options for this, and both lead to 5 gratitude crystals. I'm actually going to show both of them, so I'm just going to show one after the other. I'm going to pick the second option as far as my particular playthrough, but either one is fine. It doesn't matter which one you choose. The first one is to give the letter to the person in the bathroom, because as we know, Cawlin kept mentioning that the letter was quite specifically paper. He's very emphatic about that, referring it to as paper repeatedly. So we're going to go sleep in a bed to make it night, and then go back to the bathroom. So this character has been seen in other Zelda games as well, and the plight is always the same. It's somebody in a bathroom who is in dire need of paper. And so this has been a reoccurring theme, and typically you get a piece of heart in other games, and the gender has always been either unspecified or male. This is the first time it's been a female in gender. In fact, you can actually Z-target this character and then press down on the D-pad to get additional information from Fi. Now, Fi also says in her information, there's actually multiple places where you can Z-target this character, and the information is slightly different, but in both cases, Fi says that in particular, the original identity of this person is unknown. So we don't actually know the title in-game of this character. The only place that I could find any information at all, they don't mention this character in the Hyrule Historia or the Zelda Encyclopedia as far as I know. The only place where anybody talks about this person's name is the official Prima Games guide from Nintendo. And I don't know where they got that information from because it's not in-game, and I haven't looked at other interviews and stuff like that with Nintendo, and I don't see them talking about this character at all. Or when they do, they quite specifically say, we don't know who it is. So this character is quite specifically unnamed. However, in the Prima Games guide, they call her, it's like spelled Phoenix, but without the X, so Fee-Ni or something? I don't know how you'd pronounce that. Anyway, like I said, in-game, this character does not have a name, and also in various interviews and stuff with Nintendo, they, again, reiterate that this character doesn't have a name. So, I don't know, it just seems weird that, like, Nintendo's kind of stuck to their guns with a lot of stuff like this, except for the timeline. They totally botched that over and over again and changed their minds. So maybe that's a bad example. But anyways, it's always kind of a weird discussion when this subject comes up with other Zelda fans. When I talk with them, they'll be like, yeah, but this is her name. And they're like, it says it. Nintendo said it. I'm like, no, Prima Game said it. I'm like, yeah, it's the official guide from Nintendo. I'm like, you don't understand. I almost wrote that guide. And I don't call her that. And I know you can't tell from here, but my left eye is twitching. Just saying. You know, but they could definitely know something I don't. There's just like an interview that I'm unaware of, and maybe that's where it came from, but who knows. Regardless, though, I do just want to point out, though, that I have a lot of respect for Prima Games. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all the hard work over the years. I really appreciate you guys. And I've also done that with, press release copies before the game came out, like scrambling to get it all done and before the deadline of the game's actual release, trying to get as much information out there as possible. Like, it's intense. Like, long days, lots of coffee. It's very kind of exhilarating. It's stressful, but exhilarating, but yeah, not a lot of sleep. So, having personally done that, having played that game, so to speak, I know those feels, bro. It's intense. Feel like kindred spirits, Anyways, after you have slept in a bed, you give the letter to the person in the bathroom, then you want to sleep in a bed until morning, and then go speak with Cawlin back at the entrance to the Knights Academy. And then he'll be very upset with you for giving the letter to someone else, and he's really freaked out because apparently somebody else ended up with his love letter. From this point onward, Cawlin can always be found in Groos's room, day or night. So you want to head in there during the day if you want. This is an optional part of the quest. You don't have to do this, but he has some dialogue that's rather humorous. So he's just angry at Link for doing that. So that portion was optional, but all you have to do to continue on with the main quest is sleep in a bed until night, and then come speak with Cawlin back here in Groos's room once again. Unfortunately, because this is one of the few exceptions where there's somebody in the bed, most of the beds actually in all of Skyloft you can sleep in at any point. There's only a couple characters in the game that are sleeping in a bed at night. The rest of them are actually awake all night long. So in Japanese culture, they kind of believe that ghosts will cling on, or they'll hang on here in this world because of regrets, typically. So there's something like, sometimes it's emotions or whatever, but there's some kind of regret, and that's what's keeping them from passing on. So if you can give them a reason, like closure, then they'll pass on and they'll actually leave. So in this case, we're actually giving this ghost a reason to stay, and so it's actually kind of disturbing. So she might have just disappeared on her own. We just gave her regular paper. She might have just been satisfied and then left, but instead now we're giving her a reason to stay around haunting Cawlin, which is kind of disturbing. Anyways, this gives you 5 gratitude crystals, and this is the first method to do that. After that, you can just sleep in a bed to make a day, and that completes this side of this side quest. Now, like I said earlier, though, there are actually 2 different ways you can complete the side quest. So, rewinding to go back in time, this is the one I'm actually going to do for this playthrough, is instead, if you speak with Cawlin when you get the letter, then the other option is you can give it to his crush, who is Karane. So Karane is the other, red-headed girl who has the round cap and is wearing this kind of yellowy, slightly greenish colored outfit. So she's also been graduated as a knight as well, but she's over here in the library, or the classroom area, on the lower floor. And so she's talking constantly about Pipit and how manly he is or whatever, so it's pretty obvious that that's the person that she's interested in. And in fact, if you spoke with her a couple different times earlier in the game, you would have just seen her, muttering about her crush as well. So she's all excited to receive a letter because she assumes that it's from Pipit. So at the tail end of our conversation with Karane, she actually gives us a clue about what to do next. She mutters to herself that she wonders what Pipit would do if he learned about this event taking place. So you want to run upstairs and go find Pipit, and he is just standing around on this upper floor, and he has a chat bubble above his head. So speak with him, and then he will be very upset once he learns that Cawlin is apparently trying to ask out Karane. So finally head back downstairs and go speak with Cawlin and Karane once again in the classroom, and this will complete this quest.
Hey! Ja?
So this is the second method of getting 5 gratitude crystals. You can only pick one in this side quest, you can't do both of them. And I just feel like regardless of which, like whichever one you choose, then Cawlin just ends up getting snubbed like one way or another. He has something really unfortunate happen to him. I like this option better because at least some people ended up happy, but well, I guess you could technically say that the ghost was happy in the last option too, I guess. But I don't know, I don't feel like that really counts because it's going to end sadly. So yeah, of the two, I like this option better, but either way, I just feel like the developers really wanted Cawlin to suffer. I mean, he's a jerk. I get it. It's just, I wish we had a better outcome for him. I mean, you know, Groose is like, he has a nice character progression and things ends up well. Maybe it'd be corny if everybody ended up happy, I guess, but I just feel bad for Cawlin. I wish there was some other thing we could do for him, you know? So yeah, that's the end of this video, folks. Join me for the next one, and we will continue on with optional side questy things before continuing on back to Farron. I always like looking at Groose's punching bag here because it has a picture of Link on it. I think that's super hilarious. So yeah, that's it here. So leave the Knights Academy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, so he's not good at anything except his profession, so that's fine. You know, it's fine. He's great husband material right there, right? Like, what kind of reaction is that? She's like, yeah, he's kind of terrible, but I'm going for it. I'm like, okay.